the meeting order. It's May 17th, 2022, meeting Inland Wetlands Agency at Town of Woodbridge. First item on the agenda is continuation of public hearing for 10 and 14 Merritt Avenue, Litchfield Turnpike LLC. There's some additional materials that are due, and the applicant has requested that we continue the hearing until next month. So even though the public hearing is now open and it continues to be open, it'll be continued until our June 15th meeting. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. I was reading the amended date here and instead of the, yeah. All right. So next item on the agenda under old business is 1014 Merritt Avenue, which the anticipation is that we'll probably be closing the hearing unless some other issues arise next month, and then we can either decide then or we have 35 days after that in order to make a decision. So you can start considering what you've heard. Next application is 49 Redmond Road, so that's my property I'm involved in, so therefore I am recused. Jack, you can take over on that. Chris can fill everybody in.
I think we're down to approving the wetlands permit.
Yes, we are. So, we haven't gotten a sign off from PhD because the sanitarian had gotten it, had to recuse himself from reviewing it for some reason, but he looked at the plans, he didn't have any issue with them. They will be approved, it just has to be handed off to somebody who can approve it. So you can either take action this evening yourself. If you want to defer it to me, that's fine too, because there's no activity directly in a wetland. Whichever, doesn't matter. You guys can approve it.
I'm for deferring it to,
Yeah, this is perfect.
yeah, because then you can
And
follow
I can
the
issue
approval
it when
from.
I actually
Yeah.
get
When you
the
get
decision
approval.
from, but then we're not holding it up.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So we need a motion to defer it to our,
Yep. I'll make the motion to defer to our Ms. Sullivan.
all those in favor?
Second.
Oh, second. All in favor? Aye. 3-1. It's deferred.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Bob gets to come back in. Poor Bob, he's gonna be a yo-yo.
Okay.
It's in my hands.
Yeah, we gave it to Chris.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I'm sure
That
Chris.
didn't sound good.
I'm sure Chris appreciates that. So. All right. Correspondence. Oh, we have that Amity thing, which I'm also recused.
Yeah,
on.
I'm saying you're gonna be a yo-yo going back
Yeah.
and forth.
That way I really don't have to leave the room, and I'll just not say anything. So.
Okay. So I emailed to you an email that I got, was sent last night, about concern about the, you had issued previously in the year, there's been a long existing drainage way there along the, it's next to the field house, and then there's a second one that's up by the tennis court, and they were cleaning it and then gonna put up fence around it to keep trash and whatnot from getting in there. So there's a concern that if there was PFAS and PFOS in the thing, that it would get into that drainage way and then work its way down into the Wepperwag. So I did get a hold of, I emailed Lynn Fox, who's the head of Quinnipiac Valley Health District, to ask if they, could do any testing, if they wanted to do testing. She indicated that she was gonna contact the Regional Water Authority if it was on their watershed, so I haven't heard back from her that they're gonna do that. I also sent you a link, from the EPA, indicating that it's for a private well, which anybody in the area is on, that, they can have testing done, privately too, if there's a concern. I also emailed to Mary Gorman, who sent you the email. There was, when Town Planning and Zoning approved the fields, part of the approval that they gave in the course of the testimony on the whole thing, the makers of the turf field had indicated that the process that they used didn't use PFAS and PFOS to create the artificial turf. There are apparently some processes that are used that do use that. They indicated that they had it manufactured in their own plant, that they didn't do that the levels, if there were any levels, were acceptable to what's an acceptable level. And so TP&Z made it a requirement of their permit that the warranty that they gave, that the turf field people gave to the school district included that guarantee. And so they did provide a warranty with that, and then Town Planning and Zoning received a copy of it. So that's as much as I can offer to you at this stage of the game.
Is the pond, where does it flow from the pond?
So
Does it flow out of the
there's-
pond, or does it?
Where the field is, there's two, it's kind of like on the crest.
Yeah.
So the field basically flows to the east and goes into the ponds there are a couple of ponds directly to the east, and then there's a wetland to the south. So the property topographically feeds that way. As you go the other way towards the tennis courts, there's a divide there. So the watershed splits right there, and then the water goes this way and it goes through the wetlands that are over, to the south of the school, and then they feed north back through the pond that's in front of the school, and the pond feeds out into the Weppawag, and then the Weppawag goes behind the town hall, and then eventually goes underneath Racebrook, and eventually feeds down into the reservoir, which is on Route 34, which is owned by the Regional Water Authority. So that's why it's on their watershed. So it's a very convoluted way of going, and whatnot. I can't tell you for sure at all that the drainage that goes into that culvert or that basin that's there actually captures anything off of the field itself. I haven't been out there again to look at it today, but it's directly associated with the runoff from the driveway and the roads that are there. And then, of course, the tennis court is further up, and then they both join and then flow naturally out. So there could be some that comes from the direction of the field. Don't know for sure.
Probably if there's anything in there, it's so diluted by the time it gets anywhere.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
I did offer to Mary Gorman that if I heard back from Lynn Fox that the Regional Water Authority would be doing testing, that anything that came back I would forward to her. I also copied town council on it because I didn't know if there was any liability to anybody within the town at this stage of the game. The TPZ permit is closed. It was initially appealed. That appeal was withdrawn. The permit was acted under. The permit is now expired, so that's not even an active permit. This agency opted not to do a permit at all. So, there isn't any permit structure out there for anybody to reel anything in. But I did copy town council on it, and I haven't heard back from him at this stage of the game. The field's been installed since last July, August. So if you want, I can carry this over to your regular meeting in June and update you on any further information that I get either through QVHD or town council.
Yeah, 'cause it seems like we don't have a lot of information here other than just the email on this, yeah. It might be worth waiting. I don't know about you guys,
Yeah, I
wait
mean,
another month till we hear from the health department.
We don't really have this on the agenda, do we?
It's just correspondence.
Yep. So, yeah, I say we just
Bob's not
wait until we
here.
have something. I'm sorry?
No, he was raising his hand and I was mentioning. You have to acknowledge
Oh.
Steve.
Jack, you're
Oh,
acting.
oh.
Just sort of Bob.
Oh, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's,
Represent the Board of Ed.
yeah, that's right, Bob, you're,
Yeah, we represent the Board of Ed, so I can't.
okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know you recused. All right, so, yeah, I have some thoughts on this. I took a look at that warranty, and I do not believe that it applies to anything we're talking about. That warranty appears to be the product manufacturer's warranty.
The addendum deals with the PFAS and PFOS.
Oh, I'm not sure, did you send that to us?
It's attached to it. It's the very back of it.
All
I'll
right,
make
I
sure
saw
you
page-
get, no, the addendum does address it.
I'll have to look at that again, okay.
And that's not an issue for you guys at all, because that was something that was furnished to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission because it was a condition of their permit, and they accepted it, so it is what it is.
I mean,
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that, only insofar as any kind of an activity that poses an unreasonable risk of pollution, and if there's something that's leaching off that field, that's making its way into the surface waters, that could implicate the jurisdiction of this commission.
But at the time that the activity was brought before the commission opted not to have a permit done, and the field is now in place.
That's, yes, so it is a fact, yes, that there's a field there, and it was approved by a town commission, and this commission may have chosen not to take any action then, but that does not mean that it could not come back before us on some kind of an enforcement basis, because the condition there may represent, I mean, I don't know what it is, my instinct is, I think we need more data, but I believe if the data comes back one way or another, that this commission's jurisdiction could be implicated if we do find that there is pollutants or an unreasonable risk of pollutants coming off that field, entering into the surface waters. So that'd be my take on the situation.
well, I think we still have to wait until we get,
You have to wait
Yeah.
until you hear back,
if they
Mm-hmm.
get something back.
Sure.
because you don't even know that there is anything. But there is a disclaimer, there is a thing in there about the warranty, and I will make sure that you have that. Because
Thanks.
it says that they are guaranteeing that the manufacturer of it will meet the EPA requirements or whatever it is for PFAS and PFOS, which is the only requirements that are out there.
Thanks.
And that's what they did. So, and I mean, nobody's tested anything to find anything different. You know, the allegations or the concerns are is that, you know, if the manufacturer tests, that they're not gonna necessarily be trustworthy to test. We'll find out.
Right, so
I mean, this has been a controversial thing from the get-go. And
Yeah, the
you know,
warranty
there
was
a-
attached
There
here.
was a
Yeah.
very long hearing presentation about all of this to town planning and zoning. And the chair of town planning and zoning, who happens to also be a former deep commissioner,
Mhm.
who specialized in that, even, you know, there was a unanimous vote when they voted on this.
Do we know if there's any testing of the stormwater runoff that has been conducted there?
It was never anything that has to be done, you guys didn't ask for a permit.
No,
so
no,
there's
no.
nothing-
Since that time, has any homeowner
No.
collected a jar of anything and sent it off to a lab that we're aware of?
Not that we've heard. And surface water is different than groundwater, because your well water could come from anywhere.
Right, we're only concerned about the surface waters, and if it's runoff, it's first the surface water.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that you have to understand too, is that tires, which is part of a component of it, when we're driving, we're scuffing off tire stuff all the time, and that is on the road, and when it rains, it washes off everywhere.
That's probably more something we can't control than the situation at hand.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but who knows? So anyway, I will get as much information for you as I can for the next meeting, and
Great,
we'll go from there.
Thanks, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
All set?
all set.
Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay, getting back into the agenda, enforcement officer report. Chris, do you have anything you need to talk
I
about?
just want to update you on 65 Ansonia Road. I drove by there last week and noticed that there was fresh fill
Yeah, I
in the
noticed that
backyard.
too. The
and I went,
landscaping, yeah.
What? And so I still had the phone number for the person who had contacted me last summer, who said that they were going to be assisting the homeowners in getting a permit in here to do the restoration stuff. So I called and was probably a little bit more abrupt than I normally am. But they did call back today, or yesterday, I'm sorry, and they have engaged David Lord to do to walk the site, and we should be seeing an application next month. And I will be on top of it about getting that, and knowing David's involved, I'm pretty sure, we'll see something sooner rather than later.
And just for your sake, Stephen, this has been hanging around for a couple of years. There was a lot of activity right near there was a stream bed there.
There's
and
a
they were
stream,
filling,
yeah.
There's some trees
It's
there.
Racebrook.
The property owner said they needed to get rid of the trees because to get rid of the snakes or something like that. It was kind of a little bit unusual, but we'll get more information and, hopefully get a resolution of it over the next
So
couple
we
of
were
months.
just looking to have, a restoration of the area adjoining the wetlands. There had been a yard there, but they had encroached much closer towards the wetlands, so.
Yeah,
So, just wanna update you on that one.
Yeah,
Can I ask
good.
you a question,
Sure.
Chris? Chris, remember the matter that came before us where the woman had the backing up of the stream onto her property and the town was gonna go and see if there was
Laurel
some...
Drive or something, remember
Is that
Laurel
it?
Lane, Laurel something?
All right,
She
so
hasn't-
what happened with that? Was the town able to help her by clearing debris?
No, we asked Jim Preedy to try to set up a meeting with Regional Water Authority, to have Jim go out, me go out, meet her there with somebody from the Regional Water Authority, and Jim hasn't had a chance to set that up, so I will call him again. I've spoken to him a couple times about it. It's still there, and we'll still deal with it.
All right,
Yeah.
well, add that to-do list, so.
Yeah, it's on my list.
I know,
The file sits on my desk.
yes. So, no site visits need to be scheduled. And do we have minutes to approve? Or
No, I
Yeah.
I didn't see him, and Jean's not here. yet
Jean's
anyway,
not here, so
there's no
I said,
point,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna
No
push,
point.
because, Jean's not here to prove them.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else have anything else we wanna talk about tonight? or-
Nothing against you guys proving.
No, I know, but Jean's a special, has a special talent for that, so.
You know, she was a proofreader or
Oh, she
editor.
was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in
Oh.
a former life, I asked her, how'd you get in, why is that such a passion
Yeah,
for you?
why
And she
is
said,
it a
that's what I
passion?"
did for a living.
Okay,
It's a
that
passion.
explains it, so. Anybody else have anything you wanna talk about?
No, thank you.
Do we have a
We're
motion to adjourn then?
I'll make a motion to
Jack
adjourn.
moved, we have a second,
I'll second.
Dave seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions, we are done at 8,
Wow.
it's like 47 or something like that, so.